when ladies land at Legacy for residential move-in, one of the first things I let them know is I love you and I believe in you when you can't believe in yourself. Because when I got to Legacy, those were the only two things I needed. Those were the two things that I didn't hear I love you, and it was never meant. I didn't have a close friend, and I didn't believe in myself. And so those are the two things that I always want the ladies to know when they land there. You have a fresh start, I believe in you, and I love you. They're walking through some of the same stuff that I walk through, and it's hard. And they need to be able to hear a voice that's going to say, it's okay, I'll walk this shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm, and I'll carry you when you can't carry yourself.
When I was in Tennessee, I ran constantly. I was in crisis mode all the time. And when I got here, it was scary because finally I had time to do some of these things that they talk about in treatment, and yet you don't have that time.
I learned about Deborah's Legacy through probation. I did my interview sitting in treatment with Megan and Tony, and it was kind of awkward on screen, and Tony could just read me right away, and it was great.
A year ago, I was actually in a coma. Someone found me after I had pretty much overdosed. My kidneys were shutting down, my liver was shutting down. That was the scariest I've ever been in my life.
Look what you've done. How could you fall so far? You should be ashamed of yourself. So I was ashamed of myself. The lies I believed, they got some roots, they run deep. I let them take a hold of my life. I let them take control of my life. Standing in your presence, Lord, I can feel you digging all the roots up. I feel you healing all my wounds up. All I can say is hallelujah.
The relief, the heart relief of having a team behind me, having a group of people that are there for me and with me. And I can do the same with them. I can be there for them through their struggles, and it's amazing. It's not like just going to an hour meeting once a day and telling people, what your story is, but it's actually people who are living it with you.
Beforehand, I never had a place to go. I was homeless. And knowing I can get out of treatment and have a place to lay my head and start my life over, a second chance, was a miracle.
Not worried about where I'm going to go, how I'm going to get there, what I'm going to do, when will I sleep, is someone going to steal my stuff? I was in a safe place, that I had my own area.
Part of the residential program for me, probably one of the most important parts right now at this time in my recovery is the budgeting aspect. Budgeting with Tony. I've had my whole life needed help paying for my own stuff. Learning it through trial and error with budgeting it's definitely one of the biggest challenges, but most rewarding.
Social enterprise to me before felt like, is this just something that's going to fill my time? Is this something they're going to try to make me feel like is a job? But in reality, it was a lot of time with the women there that was just as important as the work we were doing. And knowing that you get a paycheck that you can use for other things besides having to pay rent.
I didn't have to rush. And I knew I had child support to pay for, and so I was able to get a little income underneath me to at least show them I was able to meet my needs with that income. I could still do my other things, like IOP, for instance, or do like counseling and still be able to work.
I never gave my brain enough time to stop and think. I was working so hard on work that I wasn't working on recovery. I was just sober. And when I finally landed here and saw how well that worked, it was not just the working, it was the relaxing in work and getting to talk the whole time you're there. You're with the women, you're having conversations, you're talking about recovery.
I've been to treatment 8 times. What makes Deborah's Legacy different is they're not just focusing on only recovery here. It's all aspects of a woman's life. Even if I don't see it right then, I can look back and see that God has always been with me. It really helps to have women in my life from Deborah's Legacy to show me that He's there.
I don't know, it hit me like, woo! This is what it means to be in recovery. Feeling free, yet working hard on something that's so important.
Just that without Legacy, I don't think I'd be where I am right now. The people behind Legacy and the people that donate to Legacy make it possible for so many people to heal, and I'm one of them.
And what I found through living at Legacy was the ladies continued to point me toward Christ. And that's the opportunity I have today, because if it wasn't for my relationship with God, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And so the more opportunity I have to be able to say, God's got you, but I'll fill in until you can believe in Him, that's what it's about.
The community of Deborah's Legacy is far beyond Deborah's Legacy staff or the volunteers or the women that live at the house at Deborah's Legacy. Our community at Deborah's Legacy is all of us. We are all equal at the foot of the cross. So we are all built by God, and we all need a Savior. Those are our two things. So if every person was able to come and experience the love that God has for us and the purpose that He's created us for, that is a good day at Legacy.
Look at